Bill again. Hoorah. I'll take that, fam. We'll rock with that tonight. Johnson, DMS is in the building, man. What's up, fam? Welcome back to the channel, y'all. Life be lifing. The door's always open to you, fam. Check this out, y'all. So there's going to be a lot of reasons people are going to come up with as time goes on. I have clips. I have us all structure. I got a structure to this. Before we get into the structure of what we're going to present tonight, you know, because I don't want you to think we're just going to go willy-nilly, just say stuff. We got some facts, and we got some opinions from inside the campaign. We're going to look at the Tallarico campaign. We're going to look at Jasmine Crockett's campaign, what I know about it from doing research. We're going to look at the fallout because a lot of sisters are upset. Yeah, we got a lot of sisters, man, pissed. You heard me? There's some brothers sleeping on the couch. Why I'm on the couch? I ain't do nothing. You know you didn't like Jasmine. That's why. What? We don't even live in Texas. You could have gave her money, though, and you didn't because you don't want to see a black woman win. There's a lot of that energy online right now. It's kind of crazy. Now, we had a video that's doing pretty well. If you haven't seen it, it's on YouTube. We're at we're like 25,000 views right now, which is good for us. It's doing well, okay? Hopefully we can get up there with our Charlie Kirk numbers. We killed them. So what I've done, since I've had so many people comment on the video that I put up announcing that Jasmine Crockett had lost the race, right? I have like some stats, not from posters, from you. Well, people like you, all right? So the number one reason why my viewers say Jasmine Crockett lost this race, coming in at 288 votes. And I'm a kind of like is a vote. She was fighting for illegal immigrants. Yeah, that's the number one reason that people that frequent the channel say they believe that Jasmine Crockett lost. And not saying that's the only reason, but they're saying the number one reason in their minds is she had her priorities switched. And what's crazy is she didn't win the Latino vote. So let me get this right. Jasmine Crockett was fighting for the illegal immigrants, undocumented immigrants, what have you. And it didn't materialize for her. The most vocal critic of Donald Trump, the most vocal supporter, I would say, top 5 supporter of undocumented immigrants has to be Jasmine Crockett. She up there with Ilhan Omar, right? I'm trying to think who goes harder in the paint. Yeah, because Jasmine Crockett was comparing deportation to slave catchers. You know, Trump was a Nazi, he's Hitler, and deporting people is slavery. So I don't know if you can go further than that off the rails. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's a pretty far way to go. That's extreme is what I'm saying. Number 2 reason why people say that Jasmine Crockett lost the race. Coming in at 153 votes. In the same lane, but a little bit different, they say she in a red state talking about abolishing ICE. Yeah, you ain't gonna hear many people in the Democratic Party point this out. You're in a red state. Democrats haven't won this Senate seat in 30 years, about 30 years, 28 years, 26 years, something like that. And you talking about getting rid of, you not only want the border open, you not only supporting undocumented immigrants, you want to get rid of the people that are supposed to maintain some type of order in the immigration process, that are removing people that should not be here, or people that are undocumented. Yeah, that's not going to go over too well. Now, look, the thing about it is, I'm not even sure what Tallarico stood on this. That's what happens when you become such a big star, right? Jasmine Crockett became such a big star, a lot of people don't even know where Tallarico's policies end and where hers begin, or do they overlap? But when you are polarizing, to the point like Jasmine Crockett, where you suck all the air out the room, you know what I'm saying? And people form opinions about you because you've been on, they depicting you on SNL, you've been on Colbert, Jimmy Kimmel, you've been doing this, doing that. Her campaign launch video was the president of the United States talking about her for 30 seconds. What are we talking about? So, abolishing ICE, she pretty much put all her eggs, pretty much, according to voters, according to people that are watching, not according to me, according to you guys, abolishing ICE and undocumented immigrants. Number 3, now this may be just because it was an unpopular move, and she don't really control this, right? They say because Cardi B endorsed her. Yeah, they say because Cardi B endorsed her, that sunk her battleship. I will say this. I'm not going to say Cardi B lost it for, but I'm going to say I don't think it did her any favors. And this will be the second politician that Cardi B has endorsed who ended up losing. So maybe Cardi B should just, stick to dancing and twerking and touching yourself on screen. You know what I'm saying? Maybe like politics. You know what I'm saying? Maybe don't. Maybe if you're running for dog catcher and Cardi B be like, I want to endorse you. Be like, nah, I'm good. You ain't gotta do that. Send money. Yeah, send money. Yeah, Jasmine Crockett could have used a little bit more money. You could always use more money, right? You got to know what to do with your money, though. You got to know what you do with the money, though, right? You don't just go to Ruth Chris and get a steak. Go get your hair did. Go get your lashes done. You got to spend it on a ground game. But we're going to get to that. I don't want to get too far. We're going to get to that. Number 3, the number 3 reason. Well, number 4 reason that I have listed here. Coming in at 79 votes, she forgot it was a Democratic primary and she was running against Trump. Yeah. I actually think this ranks higher. It definitely ranks higher than Cardi B. But people are so tired of Cardi B talking politics without really, kind of like knowing what she's talking about. I think they just kind of reflexively went in on Cardi B. But I'll say this right here, this is a damn good one right here, because I heard the Tallarico campaign. They asked Tallarico to his face. It's like, look, one of the major differences between the campaigns is Crockett is very adversarial towards Trump, and we noticed that you don't really mention Trump. And Tallarico's response, I'm not going to say it was brilliant, but it makes a whole lot of sense. It's kind of like something we say around here. He said, well, everybody's been talking about Trump for 10 years. Aren't we tired of talking about him yet? I think the people of Texas are kind of tired of talking about him. He didn't say Trump don't deserve scrutiny. He didn't say we should give him an easy ride. He also didn't say he was Hitler or Mussolini or Idi Amin or Nazis. He just said, well, I'm going to say this different. Everybody else had talked about him. Why would I, you know what I'm saying? Why should I put my 2 cents in, waste time talking about him? I'm going to talk about Texans and what Texans want. I ain't going to talk about Trump. And see, that's how you avoid being in the crosshairs of the entire GOP. We going to get to that too, fam, because, let me get to that because I may forget. Part of the reason why Jasmine Crockett will be going home in January is that I believe Jasmine Crockett spent a whole lot of time. You got to ride on a horse you came with, right? You got to dance with the person you came with. And Jasmine Crockett came in the door. I said it before. Never let the mic magnetize me no more. It be biting me, inviting me to rhyme. I can't hold it back. I'm looking for the line. I'm taking off my coat, clearing my throat. Now, that's not it, Tim. That's a Rakim verse. No, what it was, she came in the door going in at Donald Trump, and she didn't know how to stop. Now, we know what just happened at the BAFTA Awards, where old boy used a racial slur because he has Tourette's, he couldn't control himself, they say. Well, Jasmine Crockett has another form of Tourette's. It's called Trump Tourette's. And every time she opened her mouth, something about Trump got to fall out. Here's the thing about that, family. I believe in the Democratic primary, you ain't, unless Trump is in the Democratic primary against you, you shouldn't be talking about Trump. I'm just saying, I mean, what are we doing? It was like she's looking past the guy she's running against. He's like, where's Trump at? You got to fight me, sister. Nah, I'm big time. You ain't nobody. Where Trump at? I'm his number one enemy. I'm his arch nemesis. Where Trumpy? I mean, worry about this little Democratic primary. Well, Jasmine, ma'am, excuse me. If you don't win the primary, you can't get to the general. And if you don't get to the general, then you can't become a senator. I mean, I'm not the smartest person in the world, but I think that's how it works. Which leads me to my opinion here. The fact that Jasmine Crockett did not have a campaign manager, the fact that it seems like all reports show Jasmine Crockett made 99% of the decisions on the fly, just pulling stuff out, in fact, she had more preparation in what hairdo she was going to have than really what her game plan was going to be. She took more time picking out her shoes and her fit than she did building infrastructure to actually compete against the Tallarico campaign. You ain't gonna hear that everywhere because a lot of people are afraid to say anything about Jasmine Crockett because she is petty. By the way, most politicians are very petty. Yeah, they're very petty. So, to me, Jasmine Crockett was her own worst enemy here. In fact, I'll go so far to say Tallarico really didn't talk about her like that. Yeah, he didn't yell reverse racism, you know. He wasn't, you know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? Like, he wasn't like, oh, she's a black woman, she's beating up on me. She's angry. He didn't do any of the BS people are actually kind of signaling that he did. He didn't even do that. He didn't have to do that. It would have been, first of all, it would have been a dagger to his campaign. So he didn't like even go at her. You know what I'm saying? You would think he did, but he didn't. She set herself on fire. All right? So now, before we get too far, fam, let's now jump into some, I got some supporting clips. Now, if you're new to the show, first of all, hit the like button. Likes are free, and we need them. Because this algorithm be looking at me sometimes side-eye. You know what I'm saying? So do me a favor. Hit the like button no matter where you are right now. Do it now. Take the moment to hit like. And also, give me a 1. Give me a 1, guys. Give me a 1. If you think that the immigration, her stance on immigration and abolishing ICE, if you think that was a factor, a major factor in the reason why Tallarico won, let us know. Put that in. If you think it wasn't, give me a 0. There we go. That's how we do that. I want to see what you think in real time. All right? All right, guys. Let's jump into it, man. Let's jump into Jasmine Crockett starting off here. Jasmine Crockett, her concession.
I know it's super early.
Okay, so here it is. This morning, here goes the actual tweet she put out, and this is what she listed. This morning, I called James and congratulated him on becoming the Senate nominee. Texas is primed to turn blue, and we must remain united because this is bigger than any one person. This is about the future of all 30 million Texans and getting America back on track. With the primary behind us, Democrats must rally around our nominees and win. I'm committed to doing my part and will continue working to elect Democrats up and down the ballot. All right. So that was a very, I'll say, fam, that was a very cordial way to end it. You know what I'm saying? And I think she did a good job there. The only problem with it is I don't think it's really her. Yeah, Jasmine Crockett did not conduct herself as a person who was all that gracious throughout this campaign. In fact, you know, one of the talks around town, the rumors are, she ain't very gracious at all, that she kind of petty, self-centered, and egotistical. That's what people say. I didn't say it, I never met her. I don't know her. But I do get the vibe where I can see that's possible. I mean, you put out an ad, fam. I keep saying this. Look what people do. Don't listen to what they say as much. Look at what they do. Her first ad, what was it about? It's about Jasmine Crockett. It was only very later when it was coming in that James Tallarico may have took the lead, did she start saying, hey, you're saying about me. I know I'm tripping, right? But it ain't about me. Look, I ain't running as a black woman. I'm not running as a black or a woman. I'm running as the most experienced. She started doing that, but that was like, you know, it's kind of late. You know what I'm saying? And this whole, and when she says it's not about one person, come on, fam. Come on, man. Or we gonna be honest, or we gonna be honest. Or we gonna be real, or we gonna be real. Has Jasmine Crockett ever came across to you as a humble person? Come on now. I know I got some Jasmine Crockett people watching. Don't that sound a little bit too humble to be Jasmine Crockett? I mean, she basically a stand-up comedian out here. This the one selling t-shirts with bad built body big. Come on now. She dancing to the Kendrick Lamar joint at the Capitol. She had great adventures. She jumped out the boat. Small world. Small world. Come on now. Now, I know you are a supporter of Jasmine Crockett, but I told you now, we're going to make any sense of this. We're going to have to be honest. We're going to have to take our emotions out of it. We got to look at things for what they are. We got to call a thing a thing. We got to keep it a buck. We ain't going to get nowhere by lying to ourselves. Let's keep going. She called James and congratulated him. And that's important that she called him James because he's not an unknown entity in Texas. Not like the national stage, people don't know James Tallarico, but, well, most people don't know James Tallarico. They may know him now. In fact, fam, I'll be honest with you. I had people in my comment section saying they still didn't know him.
Words can't express how excited you made me as I was out on the trail, working to stretch people's imaginations. It's clear that we still have a lot of work to do, even within our party, about making sure that we invest in kind of just doing the right thing sometimes. It's all good though. No matter what, whether it's Kim Paxton or John Cornyn, anyone would be better. I'm just saying. So again, I just wanted to say thank you specifically to the people of Dallas County. I love you so very much. And I woke up still heartbroken about everything that took place. I've got your emails, we received your phone calls about all of the confusion and the many people that just didn't get to vote. We have to fix this going forward. We should not have people being disenfranchised in 2026, even in Texas, specifically in a Democratic county. It breaks my heart. At the end of the day, we were about to file a lawsuit so that we could keep the lines open. The county party chair got it done before we did. And, you know, the judge did the right thing. Texas Supreme Court stepped in. So I just wanted to say again, thank you. I am back to work. I am proud to serve Texas 30 until January of 2027. And then let me send mad love to my pastor, Pastor Freddie Haynes, who will be the congressman for Texas 30. So God bless y'all. Good morning.
Okay, now let me hold up right here, Johnson. First of all, kind of proves my point earlier when I said Jasmine Crockett. I mean, I get it, man. You know, I've never ran for office, but I've lost things. And she's a human being, and I think it's very much acceptable for a human being not to be too chipper the next morning after losing an election. But she did sound a little salty. Okay, but here's something I want to point out, man, because a lot of people are harping in on the voting, particularly Dallas County. They keep talking about it. Fam, let's stop talking like the polling place issue. Let's not talk that wasn't already broadcast. Family, this is part of the infrastructure problem I was talking about before. Polling place locations, ballot places, or voting sites are public knowledge well ahead of time, and campaigns of political groups can know about them in advance. Texas election law requires public notice of polling places. So there were some rules about you having to vote at your particular polling place. You can't just go anywhere to vote. I'm going to tell y'all, in Maryland, that's how it is. You can't just go anywhere in Maryland. You got to go to your particular polling place. I had no idea that's how they run in Texas. Like, this is new. You can just go anywhere in the state of Texas and vote. So I know this is what people are hanging their hat on, and they're making it seem like an inside game to make Crockett lose. But I'm just saying, fam, like, this is kind of regular. Anybody else vote? And can you just go anywhere in your state and vote, or do you have to go to the polling location on your voter ID thing? Like, I vote, and that's what it tells me. Now, part of the problem, part of the criticism about Jasmine Crockett's campaign is they did not put an adequate amount of resources behind early voting. And early voting would have took care of a lot of this. Hindsight's 2020, but I'm just saying, man, you got to get the early vote out. A lot of people say that Crockett and her campaign, or I would say Crockett because she didn't have a campaign manager. She took a lot of things for granted. She thought because her name was so big, she thought she didn't have to worry. There was an air of arrogance, of looking past Tallarico and seeing the finish line and seeing the Republican on the other end. I believe Jasmine Crockett was too much on Jasmine Crockett. That's what I believe happened here. I'm not saying there wasn't some funny business here and there. I'm not saying some people weren't disenfranchised. I've been seeing reports, and I don't think people are making it up. But what I'm saying is, come election day, there's always some drama. You got to kind of plan for that. Folks, Jasmine Crockett has been an arch nemesis of the leader of the Republican Party for about 2 years. What did you think was going to happen? I'm just saying. And this is part of my problem with Crockett and a lot of the other Democrats. They call Trump, a Nazi. They call him Hitler. They call him all these crazy names. And then when he does something, even if in this case, I don't know if he did anything in that. But you say all these things, you build them up, you sell all these wolf tickets. And then when he does something, you act surprised. I'm like, I thought you said he was Hitler. I thought you said he was a Nazi. I thought you said he was a fascist. I thought you said, why are you acting like he ain't? Unless you don't really believe it, and that's just some stuff you say to rile up your base. Get what I'm saying? I mean, if you got a friend of yours that you know when he get drunk, he be starting fights, why are you with him at the club? Why are you buying him shots? I'm just saying, like, what are we thinking? Are we thinking? It sounds like to me, like, I'm just going to put it like this. I love the movie Devil in a Red Dress. Or was it Blue Dress? Devil in the Blue Dress. Denzel Washington, Don Cheadle. Remember Mousy? Remember Mousy? Mousy killed that dude. Remember he killed the dude that worked at the bar? And Denzel said, where's dude? He said, hey, Ease, man, I ain't had time to be messing with him. But Miles, I didn't tell you to kill him. And Miles, he looks at him and he says, easy. If you ain't want me to kill him, if you ain't want him dead, Easy, why you leave him with me? Implying that's what I do and you know how I do. So why are you acting surprised and brand new that I did what I always do? And I'm saying, if you're saying Trump is a Nazi, if you say the Republican Party are a bunch of cheaters, why weren't you planning for some of this stuff? Let's keep going. Sounds to me like people be just talking. And the fact is, turnout was up. Turnout was crazy.
Tremendous turnout. I mean, woof! Texas Democratic Senate primary turnout, the highest ever was this primary. We're already up to 2.3 million, and that's only with 92% of the estimated voting. That will climb ever higher. The 2000s average was less than 1 million. They've more than doubled the average turnout for Texas Senate Democratic primaries. The Democrats came out and voted. This beats the old record, which was 2.2 million, and that was in a presidential primary year between Obama and Clinton, and this beat it. Democrats really enthusiastic. As I said, the word to describe this is tremendous.
I can't even believe it beat 2008. People, if you can remember back that far, that was such an important race in Texas. There's so much focus, and there were still more people voting in this one than that one in 2008. How about as a share of the people who voted overall?
It's not just that this 2.3 million is such a large portion, the largest ever for a Texas Senate Democratic primary. It's that more people voted in the Democratic primary than the Republican primary. Look at this. Share of Texas midterm primary ballots. Look at this. The 2000s average. If you look at the 2000s, on average, you see this. Republicans outvote Democrats. More people choose the Republican ballot than the Democratic ballot in midterm primaries by 60% to 40%, a margin of 3-2. But look so far, Democrats, more people are actually choosing the Democratic ballot. This is extremely unusual, 51% to 49%. And so far, there have actually been more of the Republican ballots estimated to be counted than Democrats. So this margin may climb ever higher. And I will note that this is the first time Democrats outvoted Republicans in a midterm primary season in Texas since 2002. So a lot of Democrats voting and more Democrats voting than Republicans. As I said, tremendous for Democrats.
And you said that has...
And that's what I wanted to point out, family. I wanted to point this out. Because you hear a lot of people wringing their hands and complaining and yelling and being very upset, emotional, and I get all that. But they talking like Jasmine Crockett didn't do well. I mean, she didn't win, but it wasn't a blowout. I mean, guys, I've been a very, very loud critic of a lot of things that came out the mouth of Jasmine Crockett over the last couple of years. I don't take kindly to anybody comparing people getting deported from a country they're not citizens of. Comparing that to slavery, I got a problem with that, okay? I just do, and I'm always going to have a problem. And it's not because it's Jasmine Crockett. It's not because it's a black woman. I have a problem with it if a black man or a white man or an Asian woman, I don't care who it is, who would say something crazy and disrespectful like that. Everything does not get to be compared to slavery. But that's beside the point, fam. Everyone who's saying, oh my God, it's a black woman, they want to elect a black woman. Hey, she's a congressperson. She got elected. And she just set a record. It's kind of hard to say you were disenfranchised when you set records on the number of voters that came out. I mean, which one is it, fam? Did a lot of people come out? Yeah, more than ever came out in a primary, fam. Fam, do y'all realize primaries, it's hard to get people to come out? Y'all realize that? Her and Tallarico blew the barn doors off the barn, fam. And people are, so I don't think the excuse that you could use, the reason that you can use is that, oh, she ain't have like the, people that supported her. Nah, she had support. She had support. I mean, losing by, what was it? I thought it was 10 points. It's like 7 points. That's pretty good. That's very good. You set records and you did. I'm just saying, it wasn't a blowout. I know people want it to be a blowout because they're like, that'll teach you, Jasmine Crockett. I get it. But I'm saying, when I look at the numbers, when I look at what actually happened, when I'm looking at the results, when I'm looking at 2.3 million, fam, more people, it's sort of like Kamala Harris. Everybody keeps talking about Kamala Harris, a black woman. Nobody wanted to vote for her. Nobody wanted to vote for a woman. An Asian Indian woman. Then you find out, oh, she got more votes than any other Democrat in the history of Democratic primaries. Well, I'm sorry, general elections. Yeah, people leave that out. They also leave out that she was a senator and an attorney general. They leave these things out, and a vice president. They go right, oh, she didn't become president, so therefore they hate Indian women or Asian women or African, Jamaican, whatever. So it's like people run to these things, but if you start looking at the data, you're like, hold on a second, yo. If you don't win the job, then, you know what I'm saying? It's not like she's a dog catcher. It's not like she's a stay-at-home mom. She's actually in Congress right now in an elected office. Oh, she didn't get a chance to go to the Senate. Well, dog, everybody don't get to be a senator. I didn't win American Idol. I didn't get to be, in America's Top Model. I didn't get to go on Shark Tank. You know what I'm saying? I can say things too. What I'm saying is she did very well. So it is, you're going to, let's look at things for what they are, not what we want them to be. It's not like she bagging groceries at the Piggly Wiggly, at the Winn-Dixie, okay? I seen some of the memes, y'all cold, man. They got to work in their Popeyes. Right into the beat, like with chicken in her hand, or drumsticks. Nah, she's still in Congress, Johnson. Let's keep going. Hit the like button, y'all. Hit the like button. We got more to cover. We get some likes in the place.
Next up with Tim Black.
Blame shifting.
We've all seen the attack ads that have come on behalf of my primary opponent, who supposedly wants to get rid of super PACs, yet doesn't have anything to say about the negative ads, the ads that are darkening my skin, and this continual kind of, if she wins, we lose. It's not even undertones right now. It is straight up racist. So I am tired of people asking whether or not I am electable. The reality is that is nothing but dog whistle.
So do you blame Representative Tallarico for the frictions and tensions?
I will say that usually when you're behind, that's when you start to do ugly things. You can take that however you want to.
White and Latino voters, y'all did y'all big one in Texas. I gotta hand it to you. I gotta tip my hat to you. Y'all heard all of the coverage around the race where it talked about this being a fight for the soul of the Democratic Party and the future of the Democratic Party. What direction are we going to go in? Are we going to go in the direction of identity politics? Or are we going to go in the direction of the choir white boy? And y'all said, challenge accepted, bitch. We're going to pack her black ass up and let these motherfuckers know that the future of the Democratic Party is white. And I love that.
God, Reese's dropping a lot of expletives. Yeah, this is Jasmine Crockett effect, y'all. You go back a year ago, Reese wasn't talking like this at all. But now, see, this is what happens. I know Obama don't like this shit. Yeah, people are like, where's Obama? Stand as far away from this type of nonsense as possible. Everybody got this performative city girl shit going on who don't be really doing it like that. Now they doing it like that because they thought it was a winner. But as you can see, you may be a winner, but that don't mean you get the chicken dinner. Roland, come get your girl.
That y'all stood on business because it took double the amount of votes that any prior winning Democratic primary candidate received in order to beat Jasmine Crockett. Just to be very clear, Jasmine Crockett was not some sort of niche candidate. She got 1 million votes in this primary. Clearly.
Hold on. Reese talking like Jasmine Crockett is the incumbent senator. Hey, man, hold on a second here. Reese, come on now. Jasmine Crockett is not entitled to this position. That's what elections are for. Elections are for people to run. All right? So, like, I'm not a person, like, I'm not a Tallarico fan, nor am I a Jasmine Crockett fan. In fact, I'm a hell of a lot more unbiased than you. But damn it sounds like you think this was owed to Jasmine Crockett. Black people don't owe Jasmine Crockett nothing. Just because she black don't mean people owe her. And when you get 90% of the black vote and still lose, who exactly are you talking to? A lot of people came out and vote. They voted. They just didn't vote for her. That's their right not to vote for her. She's supposed to make it impossible for them not to vote for her. Jasmine Crockett came in turning people on. That's what happens when you're polarizing. Sort of like you, Reese. Would you drop in the MFs and all this and talking tough now? Because you think it's going to work for you? Listen, have you built your brand on talking tough? I have. I already turned off all the people I'm going to turn off with that shit. But now you doing it, guess what's going to happen? You will have some attrition because not everybody want to hear you talk like that. They'll be like, what's wrong with Reese? Why is she talking like Jasmine Crockett? Jasmine Crockett, polarizing. When you are polarizing, there are going to be people that really like you and people that really can't stand your ass. Tallarico didn't have that problem. He's kept it, I'm going to keep it neutral so people ain't going to really love me, but then now I'm not going to have a lot of high unfavorables. And then he went and did Colbert, and that's all she wrote. But stop talking like Jasmine Crockett was owed something and she was the incumbent. She running just like him.
It took a lot to beat her. And to some degree, we do have to give James Tallarico and his voters credit for that. And so, guess what this means, guys? The baton is passed to you. Because remember that the theory of the race was that James Tallarico needed to be the nominee because he's the only one that can get the white votes. And he was going to convert the voters. And Jasmine Crockett didn't want to even bother to get Republican voters. So y'all got some work to do. You need to be going to some honky tonks, some gun ranges, some hoedowns, some barns. Y'all need to be out there pounding the pavement. Get out of black folks' comments on social media, camped out there. Because Tallarico is going to make white Democrats again. And Latinos. I love this newfound consciousness and this coalition. It is amazing that black folks won't have to carry the party on our backs anymore. To be perfectly clear, anybody who has any delusion that this is some sort of punishment or aha bitch moment to black voters, oh, no. You have 1, 2, 3, release this, because you are the guys now. It is on you. So don't sit up at your dinner tables with your meemaws and peepaws and your sister and brethren and get shy now, bitch. It is time to activate. Lock in. Because you need the white votes. That's going to flip Texas. That's what y'all said. So chop. Do something that hasn't been done since black folks got civil rights. And that is make white voters in Texas a majority Democrat. That's all you got to do. But y'all gonna do it. That's what y'all said, right? That's what y'all said, that he was gonna be the one to do it. So get to stepping. Get to it. You can do it. I believe in you.
Black folks.
Jesus Christ, man. I don't know if she was that off-putting, man. That's just, what's wrong with her? Man, I'm trying to tell you, man, a lot of times these political operatives like Reese, they be looking for jobs and shit. They be picking out drapes. I know that's what they did with Kamala Harris. They had everybody buying up property, putting their names down on leases, just expecting to bulldoze Trump and win. And then when she didn't win, everybody's destroyed. All their plans out the window. Cancel that U-Haul. Y'all stop counting chickens before they crack. Oh, man, G bitter, man. That's some bitter stuff. I don't have a horse in the race. I don't know what to tell you. Somebody won, somebody lost. Reese just thinks it should have been Tallarico who lost. It wasn't. Keep going. Jesus Christ.
The real reason why people did not want Jasmine Crockett to win, it isn't policy, y'all. It's not her.
They didn't want her to win. Now, they didn't vote for her. They didn't vote for her. Not about not wanting her to win. Hey, man, we need to kill this nerd. Hey, look, let's kill the notion. Let's kill this right here, fam. That's not how elections work. Like what I say about Jasmine Crockett, how I judge her, I do commentary. This is what I do. I don't just do commentary about election races, but about all things political and black culture related, right? With a real big focus on politics for the last 15 years, right here. Interviewed presidential candidates, independents and Democrats, senators, congresspeople, entrepreneurs, actors, writers, directors, philosophers, doctors, right? Scholars, like all that has come to this channel. But I'm going to tell you right now, what happened with Jasmine Crockett, fam, that is the culmination of many things. But what you cannot do is make this people just don't like her. Nah, it's her persona, right? It's her persona. They weren't that different on the policies. But her persona, to some people, was off-putting. Why? Because of the mouth. Because of things she said. And that's all you got when you're a politician, are the words that come out of your mouth. She's not cooking a 5-course meal and people get to sit down and eat it. They have to base their decisions on what she says, what a campaign narrative is. And that's what campaign manager and messaging is so important. Nah, we're gonna cut the garbage. They just don't like a black woman. It's just the laziest, that's just the laziest diagnosis there is. She black, that's gotta be why. She a woman, that's gotta be why. What about when she became congressman? Did she win that because she was a woman? Because they can see that too. They can see she was black and they can see she was a woman. When she was on SNL, when she was on Jimmy Kimmel, when she was on Jimmy Fallon, when she was on whatever, insert name of show, when she was blowing up, when she was one of the most recognizable Democrats in the country, if not the world, was it because she was a black woman? Why you get to have it only one way? When things don't go well, that's why. What about when she was on top, when she was winning, when she was blowing Tallarico away, fam? I had Tallarico down by like 20 points when this thing started. People didn't even know who the hell he was outside of a few people in Texas. He's a local state rep. All right? Let's let this sister get her guns off. She got some shots to make. But we already know what's going. She's very angry.
Experience, and it's not her incompetence. It's about two things, y'all. It's race and it's gender. Because to this country, a black person winning is already too much, y'all. But y'all put a black woman winning, that's double the threat, double the hate. And y'all know what's even sadder and even sicker and even more sadistic? You've got black men online tearing Jasmine down for her wigs, weave, lashes, ghetto, being loud, throwing her under the bus, doing the goddamn work of white supremacist ideology for free. Still competing with black women.
They're not doing it for free. They're doing it for clicks and money. Yeah, I'm just saying, a lot of people are not just doing it for free. You know, this is a line of business, right? Content creation does pay money. So people are not just doing it for free. They're also doing it. I'm not saying it's cool. I'm not saying it's right, but they may actually feel that she is tacky. It's okay to feel that way. It's okay. Everybody don't have to like who you like, sister. You know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ, man. Everybody got to like what you like or something wrong with them, huh? You can't just have a different taste. And if we don't like Jasmine Crockett, then we don't love black women. We don't love our mothers and our wives. You know, I'm so tired of this negative narrative, fam. I got a black wife, a black house, black kids, live in a black house, got on a black jacket with a black hat and a black pair of boots. You just can't see them. And you know what? When I don't support Jasmine Crockett, not that I supported Tallarico, then all of a sudden I'm not black no more. I done had more black politicians come to this channel than Jasmine Crockett. In fact, I invited her like 5 times and she wouldn't even respond. What about that? She wouldn't come on a black channel that's one of the biggest, back when I was on the left, I was one of the biggest leftists in the country. She wouldn't come on this channel. She wouldn't even respond. What's that about? It's because I'm black? Or I was going to ask her some black people, black man questions. Huh? See, let's keep going, man. It's just lazy. That's all they got. It's always the same thing. In fact, do you realize every time a black woman loses a race, you blame black men? You know what that makes us want to do? Not want to support black women. Because we already know we're going to get blamed. I already called this. You got 90% of black people who voted for her. And still, we got this mammy coming out blaming black men. What else we got to do? What we got to do? You got 90% of black voters voted for her. If they voted for her. 90% of them. Not good enough. Got to go for black men. You know what? Black men, for better or worse, fam, black men vote. The second highest voting Democratic group in America are black men. And what do black women do? Shit all over black men when they lose. When they could go at white women, white men, Latino men, Latino women, Asian men, indigenous women, Native American women, Native American men. But instead, you go right to black men. Your biggest ally is who you shit on. Every time. But then we're supposed to support you. Not everybody's good people just because they're women, just because they're black. Not everybody rubs everybody the right way. I stated for the record, a lot of things coming out of Jasmine Crockett over the last 18 months were not the way that I think and a lot of other foundationally black Americans feel. A lot of foundational Black Americans in that field that Jasmine Crockett was representing them, that she was more focused on the Latino vote, on the undocumented vote. And then they didn't even vote for her. Let's see if this sister keeps it a buck. Let's see if she's going to even mention that. It was about undocumented folks and trans kids. Let's see if you're going to even mention that.
Still trying to police them, still not realizing that her winning is not a loss for you. It is a win for an entire race. We throw that word around ghetto, but what exactly is ghetto? And how come it don't stick to white folks when they do the same goddamn thing?
Man, I don't know if I can listen to her much longer, Johnson. You shouldn't be on the internet. If every time you see a video, you want to come tear down a whole group of people because you saw a video of a guy called Jasmine Crockett ghetto. And she didn't want to be called ghetto. Maybe, like some of the mannerisms and stuff she was doing that she was laying on pretty thick for no reason at all. Maybe she wouldn't have done that shit. I think that was part of her play. That's part of her theatrics.
Because when Black folks talk loud, dress bold, wear wigs, weave lashes, it's called unprofessional, too hood. But when white folks turn around and cosplay and do the same thing, that same behavior, it's relatable, it's authentic, it's quirky, and it's shared and it's celebrated. Same behavior, different skin, different type of judgment. So now, this backlash isn't about standards. It's about who they think is allowed to lead. And until we stop internalizing white superiority and projecting it back on Black women, we'll keep sabotaging our own race and our...
Thank you, Tim Black.
Good morning, everybody.
Now, Chuck Rocha, okay, so I say it's about 5 years ago. 5 years ago, when I used to go on a show called The Hill, I met Chuck Rocha. And Chuck Rocha, he worked on the Tallarico campaign. Instead of listening to this sister, because she seems very informed, I don't want to take anything from her, she has really done her studying on the numbers in both campaigns, and she sounds like she really knows why Tallarico won. No, she doesn't. She didn't at all. I don't even think she took any time at all. She saw a Black woman and came up with a bunch of talking points that Black men don't love Black women. Okay, fine. You can't fix stupid. Okay. Here we go. But Chuck Rocha explains what happened in this race, in the Tallarico campaign, and why he believes they won.
What a crazy election night. I've been in war rooms for 30 years on election night watching results come in, and then last night was another crazy one. Before I head to the airport to get back to D.C., I need to tell you how this happened. It starts with the candidate. James Tallarico is a special candidate, and I take nothing away from Jasmine Crockett, who ran an incredible race. Hat tip to her and her team. Hat tip to her and her team this morning. I love to see the unity and her coming together. We're going to win in November. We're going to beat the Republicans. But James Tallarico ran the right kind of race at the right time. He also had an amazing staff. Seth, his manager, assembled a great crew, and they did an outstanding job. Gina Hinojosa, that's the Tallarico Gina Hinojosa, and JT on the press team, that whole crew just worked day and night, and me getting to spend some time with them and see the energy on the ground really made some difference. But how did he win? He won because he showed up in communities. He ran advertising in those communities. He had an amazing field team with 28,000 volunteers, over 600 community events in just 8 weeks. They sent over 4 million peer-to-peer texts, like grassroots organizing combined with paid advertising in digital, TV, radio, around sporting events, and a robust Latino advertising campaign in Spanish, in English, but a lot of Spanish advertising, a lot of advertising in the Valley. I'm going to write more about this later, but there's a reason why James won last night, because he had the full effect of a great team, a great message. He's a great candidate, and he assembled the right folks to actually get it done. There's going to be a lot written about the Latino vote and the strength of the Latino vote, and are Latinos moving back to the left? Well, last night proved one thing for damn sure. They will move back for James Tallarico if you show up and give him a hopeful message. I'll talk to y'all in a little bit. I'm going to go get on an airplane. I love you all. Thank you for all the love and all the text and all the things this morning. I'm super excited. Gosh damn, it never gets old. Y'all be good.
It's the campaign, Johnson. It's the campaign. Now, some people said, Tim Black, this thing's going too fast, isn't it? Slow down, Johnson. People are like, I can't even see that it's going so fast. Okay, check this out, guys. Money. Can we talk about money for a minute? Now I know there's some people that believe that money had nothing to do with it. People keep bringing up the fact that Kamala Harris outspent Donald Trump. And she still lost, obviously. Here's the thing, though, guys. Tallarico outspent Jasmine Crockett 5-1. That means for every $5,000 that Tallarico was able to spend, she could only spend $1,000. I hear you about Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris outspent Trump 2.5-1. So for every $2,500, Trump spent $1,000. It was double that for the Jasmine Crockett race, okay? You couple that with the fact Jasmine Crockett did not have her infrastructure. Her infrastructure was not in place. She did not have a campaign manager and a solid team of people. And look, I'm not going to say of people. Maybe she had some good people. I don't know. But did she listen to her people or did she listen to herself? Word on the street is Jasmine Crockett was running everything herself. She did not delegate much, and she overruled people when they disagreed with her. And sometimes that's very nice when she did so. So, there it is. If you don't have the people in place to do the job, you got to do all the jobs by yourself. And then when you take the fall, you point over at the guy over there. You point over there. Everybody else is at fault but you. Even now, we'll see what happens. I want to see if Jasmine Crockett takes any responsibility whatsoever. Or if she's going to take a page out to Kamala Harris' playbook and start blaming other people. At least Jasmine Crockett can say, hey, they outspent us. Kamala Harris couldn't even say that. And she still was pointing everywhere else. Look over there. Look over these people. Look at that over there. Everything was somebody else's fault. Now, I get it. The only one thing you can't say about Jasmine Crockett is that the reason why she ran for Senate was because she's losing her congressional seat. She had to make a choice quickly. That is something similar for Kamala Harris, where she ran because, well, Biden dropped out and here's an opportunity. Money's already being raised. Let me take the money and run. So both campaigns were kind of thrown together kind of hurriedly without a full plan in place. But that's when you got to go hire people. You can't do it on your own, so I don't know what Jasmine Crockett was thinking about. That's crazy. You need people. Got to have people in place. Got to have a plan in place. So you can either believe that Tallarico had a plan and look, or you can believe it's just because she's a black woman. I think there was more at play. All the turnout that took place in this election, I don't think it holds water for you to say, she a black woman, that's what caused it. I'll say it was a factor. Fam, gender, I'm not going to say it doesn't matter. It matters. If you're a woman, of course it matters. If you are black, of course it matters. If you are Christian, of course it matters. If you are Muslim, of course it matters. If you are tall, of course it matters. If you are attractive, of course it matters. If you're a good speaker, of course it matters. If it rains, storms, if there's an earthquake, a tidal wave, whatever, the weather, if a dog bit you, all these things will matter. All things matter. But are they the deciding factor? Is that what turned the race? Don't forget, guys, give me a 1 or a 2. 1 says you believe that it had a lot to do with her stance on immigration. Some people said AIPAC. It didn't make my list of most important reasons. I'm not sure how many Black Americans are really in tune with the whole AIPAC situation. But okay. But give me a 1 if you believe it has something to do with her immigration stances, being in a red state, and wanting to abolish ICE. Give me a 0 if you think that didn't have any bearing on it. Not really. Let's keep going. Campaign, fam. The campaign. It's the campaign.
Primary. What folk got to recognize is this is a primary. And in a primary, when you're trying to run, when you look at who you're looking at, it's Black, it's white, it's Latino, it's Asian, it's Native American. You're looking at demos. There's a significant Asian American population in Houston. If you're Vietnamese American, I'm telling you right now, there's a huge community there that gives, that also votes. And so if you're targeting different groups, you're going to do that. And what I'm saying is, when I looked at both campaigns, when I looked at their strategy, what I saw from Tallarico's campaign was an extremely focused, large volunteer base that was driving his stuff on the ground. I didn't see the same on Crockett's campaign, and that shows up on election day when you start tabulating votes. And so, again, also, one of the things that we talk about television and radio, I was sitting here, again, margins, looking at the numbers. It was like, yo, she's got to drive huge Black turnout in Dallas and Harris County. I was also looking at what was invested to do that. Black radio, newspapers, digital. I did not necessarily see that. So as people are sitting here.
So the local Black media infrastructure is very different than the Latino media infrastructure in Texas. Full stop.
I know.
Now where
I ran 3 of them. I know.
So, and you know how they consolidated, and some of them bounce left, move their money, and they're just doing satellite there. It's no longer local. So here's my point. Do I think that there should have been a significant investment in Latino media? Absolutely. Now you have to remember, I'm positing this as I'm not saying that she ran a great campaign. I also understand the numbers. Now I understand what complete data looks like versus incomplete data.
Yeah, but see, here's the deal, though. I'm not saying great. I'm not saying great versus bad. What I'm laying out, because I want our audience. I'm not
accusing you of that.
No. This is not for you. The reason I'm not saying great or bad for our audience. The problem is, as I've listened to a bunch of people post videos and post comments, and I'm seeing these, I'm like, y'all aren't looking at what happened. People are responding with emotion. They're not responding with what actually happened, how campaigns were constructed, where resources were placed, where time and energy was placed, what the focus was here and there. And so I'm telling you right now, I had no problem saying it. I was extremely concerned with Crockett's campaign on February 1st. When I saw, I remember when the first poll dropped, there was a poll that dropped that showed him in the lead. And the reaction was, oh, outlier, low sample. I said, that's actually a shot across the bow. If you're the opposite campaign, should be concerned about that. Listen, the Kamala Harris robocall. I'm not dropping her robocall on the last day of early voting on Friday. I'm dropping her robocall the first day of the last week of early voting to allow it to gain traction Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So again, when I just looked at how both campaigns were moving, somebody has to explain to our people what happened. What I'm tired of are people responding with emotion and not even thinking through the dynamics of what happened. And again, it's the primary. I'm seeing right now a bunch of Black people. Damn this shit. I ain't voting in November. Well, that's stupid.
Okay. Yeah, I had to throw in a Roland Martin clip because Roland Martin actually, he had something to say. Roland Martin says that Jasmine Crockett's campaign was not run well. That Jasmine Crockett did not put the money and the infrastructure in place. Not just that, Tallarico did. Now, it's one thing if you don't have everything in place and the person you're running against also doesn't have it all in place. If it's all, the bad news bears. If it's bad on both sides. But if one side got their shit together and the other side is just shit, then what's going to happen? You're going to lose. The side without the infrastructure together is going to lose. Fam. Roland Martin, another reason why I'm listening to Roland on this, because he's from Texas. His family, his parents are living in Texas. He would travel to Texas. He said he go to Texas, he went to communities, he didn't see yard signs. He didn't see that, the infrastructure. He didn't see the volunteers going out canvassing. He said he did not see it. You gotta have that. So what we have right now, which is the thing that's got me pissed, right, is we got black people going at black people, blaming each other for a campaign that wasn't run well. And we got Crockett and others willing to let that happen, willing to let us tear each other to pieces over a campaign that shot itself in the ass. Blaming ourselves, blaming one another. First of all, I don't know what you were planning to get out of Jasmine Crockett. Jasmine Crockett was very clear about where her priorities lied. Her priorities were undocumented immigrants and trans community. That's what she talked about the most to me. So what were you expecting her to do in Senate anyway? Other than make you feel good, make you feel gratified to see a black woman there. What was she going to do? Because she didn't talk a whole lot about doing anything. She talked a whole lot about Trump is horrible, Trump is evil, he the Timu Hitler, and all this shit. A bunch of sound bites that don't mean anything. Now, we'll also want to mention that Texas had a lot of black people. If Jasmine Crockett would have energized black voters and she would have got FBAs to come out, she would have won. She could have overwhelmed with black participation. An additional million voters, black voters, didn't show up. And doing the Kendrick Lamar dance didn't get them to come out. That's right. Because where was the substance? Where were the solutions? A bunch of symbolism is not going to get black people to feel like they're connected to the race. Yo, Texas and everything. Not all black people are the same. We also got to look at it that way. Not all black people support the immigration fiasco. That's the Democratic Party. Not all black people want you to abolish ICE. Oh, here goes something else someone's talking about. Not all Latinos want you to abolish ICE either. I know, because I'm not supporting abolishing ICE, and a lot of Latinos watch this show. I had some Latino voters and Latino folks in my Tim Black VIP, and they ain't never complained about me criticizing undocumented immigrants policy by the Democratic Party. I think it hurts the labor market, and it hurts Latinos, blacks, whites, all of our bottom line to a certain extent when resources come out of our communities. I'm not an outlier thinking that way. In fact, most of America feels that way. Most of America does not agree with the Democratic Party policy on immigration. But sure, go off. Make it about something else. Make it about all these other things, if that makes you feel better. Make it because she wears a wig. Hey, man, if Jasmine Crockett could wear a wig and not have any hair at all like Ayanna Pressley, that ain't why people voted for her or didn't vote for her. Somebody criticizing somebody's shoes, dress, or the way their mannerisms, if they rock with you, they rock with you. Period. If what's coming out of your mouth, if what your narrative is, if what your rhetoric is, if what you stand for motivates them, then these superficial things ain't gonna matter. Come on, man. We know this. People start talking smack about you when they're looking for something to knock you at because they already don't like you. They already aren't relating to you. That's how it works. It's not the other way. Sure, you can make it that way, but that don't make it so. So a lot of people are using personality. They're saying it's because of her personality or because of people are hooked on personality. And I don't think that's the case. I think Jasmine Crockett made it all about her mouth. It made it all about the show. It made it all about theatrics. At the end of the day, what's she really stand for? She ran a Democratic primary against a sitting president who was not running against her. That's a loser. That's a stinker. That makes no sense. And if she would have employed someone who worked on campaigns before, they would have said, we need to get rid of all of this. And she would have fired their ass like a 357 Magnum and did it her way. And that's a problem. All right, folks. I think that's all I got on this. The Democratic Party response, they're circling the wagons. So what's going to happen now? Democrats are going to circle around James Tallarico because they want to win the seat. That's what this is all about. Of course it's about electability. But if they really thought you were a monster that was going to bring home the W, they would have lined up behind Jasmine Crockett anyway, because they really want to win that seat. Now, I've said this in the past. I say the Democrats are very happy for you to be up there making noise, being loud, taking the slings and arrows, making yourself an arch enemy of the President of the United States. And yeah, they will let you do that. But at the end of the day, that doesn't mean they want you to lead the party. I've never heard anyone talk about in leadership that Jasmine Crockett was a leader of the Democratic Party. I've heard Charlamagne the God say it. I've heard Angela Rye say it. I never heard Democratic Party elites say it. I don't think I've ever heard Hakeem Jeffries mention Jasmine Crockett. I don't think I've ever heard Chuck Schumer mention Jasmine Crockett. In fact, I saw Jasmine Crockett going at the squad. I'm surprised that Ayanna Pressley did a photo op with her recently. She was shitting all over AOC and Bernie Sanders when they did their oligarchy tour. What was that about? Why make enemies? They have nothing to do with you. So anyway, there's a lot of black media influencers who are supportive. If they're of the Democratic Party type, they supported Jasmine Crockett, and they're very upset. Yeah, they could be upset. That's fine. The bottom line is, bad campaign gives you bad results. In your personality, in your proximity to Cardi B and Kelly Rowland, don't change the price of tea. You know, yesterday's price is not today's price. So that's what happened to Jasmine Crockett, in my opinion, guys. Jasmine Crockett ran a bad race. She didn't have the tools necessary. Her infrastructure sucked. She did not have a team assembled to win. And Tallarico did have a team assembled for the W. He had grassroots, he had volunteers, 28,000 of them, if I'm not mistaken. He had the door knockers, the canvassers. He did a better job of advertising dollars and putting them into the Asian community, the Latino community. And he didn't worry too much about the black community. But he got enough black vote that he was able to get the W. It is what it is. Let me know what you guys think about it. You got my opinion. I'd like to hear yours. Why do you think Jasmine Crockett lost this race? Is it because she's a black woman? Or is it because of more things than that? Is it more than that? You know my point of view. I think we already knew she was a black woman. She's a sitting congressperson, and she's a black woman as a sitting congressperson. Having a hard time just putting all the blame on the fact she's a black woman. She's a black woman and still one of the most popular Democrats in the country. So I'm trying to figure out, did people just realize she was a black woman? Or did they already know that? You know, Kamala Harris had her as a surrogate. She went around the country. She's got a national, if not an international profile. You act like she works at Walmart bagging groceries on weekends. She's a seasonal worker at Macy's. That ain't the case. She has a profile. It's just her profile was mostly focused on her and not focused on the issues. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. I'm Tim Black. Subscribe to this channel for more. No cuts, no cut cards. Only a real analysis from somebody who does not work for the Democrats or the Republicans. I'm non-party affiliated. I am non-party affiliated. I'm not trying to get a job at CNN or MSNBC or MS Now. I'm not trying to make friends with these people. My job is to give you the benefit of my commentary based on my experiences, based on my research. I've been doing this almost 15 years. I got a resume. If you're interested in becoming a Tim Black VIP member and getting exclusive content, all my content, and the special content only for VIP members, go to jointimblack.com. Become a member today, starting at only $5. That's right. It ain't going to be a lot. Buy me 1 cup of coffee a month, and we good. Well, that's the start. All right. Who's in the comments, man? Anybody here? Damn. Damn. They really wanted me to skip her. Let me Wow. A lot of different comments here, y'all. They wanted me to skip past lady talking. Ran the tears. She relied too much on what? On name recognition. Yep. Look at all the ones. They think it had to do with immigration, y'all. I don't think she was going to lose her seat. Her pastor's running for her old seat. He spits fire too. It's still a solid blue seat. He swept all of South Texas. %80 of eligible black voters in Texas did not vote. Oh my God. 80%. Fam. 80% of black Texans did not vote. Hey, fam. You know what that tells me? That tells me that Jasmine Crockett did not get out to vote. That means Jasmine Crockett's messaging made people's ears close up. That's what that means. Yeah. That's bad. That's horrible. I don't know how you could do any worse. 80% of black voters did not come out. What are we even talking about? You think they didn't come out because she's a black woman? They're black. When we gonna stop making excuses? If you don't offer people any type of incentive, if you're not talking about things that are relevant to them, why should they come out? If you went to see a Martin Lawrence stand up, you came there to laugh, right? When I went to see Dave Chappelle, I went there to laugh. I didn't go there to hear, I didn't go there to try the new hamburgers there or to get a drink. I went there to hear him tell jokes. And he told jokes and they were funny. That's it. Fam, this idea that all you got to do is be black but not have anything to sell, that you don't have to have anything that's going to actually relate to those people, it's crazy to me. Stop taking blackness for granted. And if you take blackness for granted and you lose, you earn the L that you got. That's your L. Hold your L up and own it, because it's up to you to sell to the people. It's not up to the people to buy it. It's up to you to sell it. I'm selling my show. I tell you, this is the most dangerous show in America, because it's my job to tell you the raw truth. And that's dangerous in this system. It's dangerous to be honest. You think Reese's being honest? You think I'm the only one that knows that Jasmine Crockett campaign was run like a shit show? I ain't the only person that knows that. But Reese won't tell you. Hell, her co-host Clay tells you, but she won't. I also noticed I didn't hear Don Lemon saying much, because Don Lemon knows Jasmine Crockett's campaign was shit. So not only listen to the people that are complaining, look at the people that are silent. Sometimes people that are silent, they're silent because they don't want to hurt your feelings. They're silent because what they got to say ain't going to be nice. And sometimes they go by the old adage, if you ain't got nothing to say, don't say nothing at all. That's what's happening, y'all. As Po Folk says on TikTok, hey, y'all, look at this. The math gotta be right. Give it up for Slim Slammer. Whoa. James Talarico spoke favorably on UBI, Universal Basic Income. With AI coming up, you gotta talk about UBI. How could you not talk about that? Yeah, Coyote, I still got some of my, tendencies on these policies that I support. Federal Jobs Guarantee and UBI, still two of my best policies. Crockett never even mentioned it. She was destined to fail. I like her, but I think she still has ways to go to earn the respect nationwide. She ain't needed nationwide, she just needed it locally. She needed it in Texas. You feel me? Name a Buckner gave me a support. Name a Buckner. Thank you, sister. I appreciate you. Damn. JG says, everybody clicked her nonsense and made it viral. Not a positive reason to be a star of your party. She wasn't focused on American politics. Damn. Guess America, there is no black representation on the Senate floor. We blacks are not mentioned. Both parties are trash, and that's the end of the discussion for me. Yo. She had the highest profile, and she lost. And my thing is, she should have to own that. Black men and black women do not need to be attacking one another over a race that the person who was responsible ultimately for that race, Jasmine Crockett, cannot be bothered to hire people and put them in place. Family, if you go to a restaurant, if you're going to frequent a restaurant, if you're going to spend money at a restaurant, they better have a damn good chef. They better have good staff, wait staff. And they better be able to park your cars or clean up the place. The bathrooms got to be clean. There's a level of service that's required of the restaurateur. And if you don't meet that criteria, then people are not going to come to your restaurant. If it's black, white, Latino, Asian, Native American, doesn't matter. Jasmine Crockett, she owned a restaurant. Her restaurant was her campaign. And she did not bother to have everything in place for it to be successful. You can't blame the customer. Stop blaming the customer. It's the restaurant. It's the food. It's the service. Fam, Mr. Tenderism, he was the spark. But he also could cook, right? We like him when he's doing his thing, but he also is a damn good cook. People not going to that other restaurant. I'm not even going to say the name of the restaurant. We're going to go to his restaurant because we know the food going to be good and we like the guy that's doing it. It ain't rocket science, but you got to have those elements. And I appreciate y'all, man. I'm good. You can't bully people into voting. FBA all day, baby. Hey, look, I can't put that up here, man. Oh, man, this guy. There we go. All right, guys, that's all I got. FBA all day. Thank you, Miss Kitty Cat MC. All right, I'm Tim Black, guys. I'll see y'all here. We'll be back on Friday for more Tim Black Show. Thank you for being here. Go to Join Tim Black to become a member. Now, remember, in order for us to get where we're trying to go, we got to have a clear vision. But to have a clear vision, fam, we got to stay courageous. We got to stay bold. And most of all, we got to stay dangerous. I'm Tim Black. I love y'all. I got reasons for doing what I do, just like you do. Here goes some of mine. Where are my ladies? Where are my ladies? And my son.